Okay, and we are back. This is the 5th testing video for general knowledge. This will be questions 81 through 100. So let's begin. Question number 81. When loading a trailer, if the cargo is loaded all to the rear, it may result in So it's saying when loading a trailer, if the cargo is loaded all to the rear, so what will happen? We will lock up, damage to the steering axle, poor traction on the drive wheels. Let's try that. C. Poor traction on the drive wheels. That's correct. 82. Communication means A. Talking with law enforcement officers. B. To communicate your intentions to other motorists. C. To talk on the CB radio. I think it would mean B. To communicate your intentions to other motorists. That's correct. 83. If you are convicted for driving under the influence while driving a commercial vehicle, and it is your first offense, you most likely will get at least a 1-year suspension of your CDL. That's correct. 84. If you are stopped at a roadside rest area and found to have a blood alcohol concentration of 0.02, you will be placed out of service for 24 hours. I believe that's the correct answer. That is correct. 85. Which of the following statements about speed management is true? Seems like I had this question already. Which of the following statements about speed management is true? I'm gonna go with C. If you double your speed, stopping distance will be increased by 4 times. That's correct. 86. You are driving a long vehicle that makes wide turns. You want to make a left turn from Ocean Street onto Atlantic Street. There are two left turn lanes marked A and B on Ocean Street. You should... Okay, so you're driving a long vehicle that makes wide turns. Okay, so you know that. You want to make a left turn from Ocean Street onto Atlantic. So here's Ocean Street. Okay, here's the turn lane, A and B. From Ocean Street to Atlantic. So you want to go from here to here. There are 2 left turn lanes marked A and B on Ocean Street. You should use the left. Use left turn A. Use left turn B. Start in left turn A and swing into left turn lane B just before entering the intersection. I would think if you're going to make a wide turn, vehicle that makes wide turns, you'd want to use B. I'm not going to say C because that seems like you'd be getting into somebody else's turn lane when you couldn't see them. So I'm going to say B. And that's correct. Okay. 87. You are traveling down a long, steep hill. Your brakes get so hot that they have failed. What should you do? I'm going to go with look for an escape ramp or escape route. Oop. That was too quick. Downshift and pump the brake pedal. So the answer is actually C, which is both of the above. So remember, you are traveling down a long steep hill. Your brakes get so hot they have failed. What should you do? Downshift and pump the brake pedal. Definitely downshift. You can use the that to slow your engine, to slow your descent, I guess. And B, look for an escape ramp or escape route. So remember, I went too quick on that one. 88. The center of gravity of a load should be kept high as possible. I don't know about that. I'd rather doubt that. Can make a vehicle more likely to tip over on curves if it is high. I'd say that's true. Is only a problem if the vehicle is overloaded. What if it's loaded properly? Could that be a problem? Yeah, I suppose it could be. I would say I'm going to go with B. The center of gravity of a load can make a vehicle more likely to tip over on curves if it is high. That's correct. 89. To prevent a load from shifting, there should be at least one tie down for every blank feet of cargo. I'm going to go with A, 10 feet. That is correct. 90. While driving, ice builds up on your wipers, and they no longer clean the windshield. You should I'd say C, stop safely and fix the problem. That's correct. 91. When the hydraulic brakes fail while you are driving. Okay, so let's go back to 91. We'll repeat this question. When the hydraulic brakes fail while you are driving, the system will not build up pressure and the brake pedal will feel spongy or go to the floor. What should you do? Pump the brake pedal to generate pressure. Push down the brake pedal as hard as you can. Put the vehicle in neutral and set the parking brake. So it's saying right here, when the hydraulic brakes fail while you're driving, the system will not build up pressure and brake pedals will feel spongy or go to the floor. The system will not build up pressure. If I put it in parking, that would probably ruin the transmission. I'm going to go with A. You're pumping the brake pedal. Let's see if that's correct. That is correct. Yes. 92. Which may be a sign of tire failure? Wheels skidding, a loud hissing noise, vibration. I'm going to go with wheels skidding. That's correct. 93. To prevent brake fade, you should coast downhill, which is not very steep. Apply constant hard pressure on the brakes while driving downhill. Select the gear which will keep your vehicle safe. Select the gear which will keep your vehicle to a safe speed on a deep downgrade. I'm going to go with C. Select the gear which will keep your vehicle to a safe speed on a deep downgrade. Let's see if I'm correct. That's correct, yes. 94. A full stop is required at railroad crossings when there are no flagmen, warning signals, or gate at the crossing. The nature of cargo makes a stop mandatory under the state and federal regulations. Crossing is located in a city or town with frequent train transits. A full stop is required at railroad crossings when. So it's asking, when is a full stop required at railroad crossings? Full stop is required at railroad crossings when. So what is the condition when a full stop is required? There are no flagmen, warning signs, or gate at the crossing. The nature of the cargo makes a stop mandatory under state and federal regulations. The crossing is located in a city or town with frequent train transit. Full stop is required when there are no flagmen, warning signs, or gate at the crossing. I'm going to go with that. A. Let's see if I'm correct. No, it's B. A full stop is required at railroad crossing when the nature of the cargo makes a stop mandatory under state or federal regulations. Again, 94. A full stop is required at railroad crossing when the nature of a cargo makes it a stop mandatory under the state or federal regulations. Okay. 95. When driving at night, you should use your low beams when oncoming vehicle is within how many feet? Let's say I don't know, but I'm going to go with C. Let's see if I'm correct. That would be 300 feet. That is incorrect. The correct answer is B, 500 feet. So when driving at night, you should use your low beams when oncoming traffic is within how many feet? Within 500 feet. Remember that, 500 feet. Okay. When driving through the work zone, you should reduce your speed only if workers are close to the roadway. Turn on your parking lights. Watch for sharp pavement drop-off. When driving through the work zone, you should reduce your speed only if workers are close to the roadway. Turn on your parking lights. Watch for sharp pavement drop-off. When driving through the work zone, you should... Good question. I'm gonna go with C. Watch for sharp driving pavement drive. I could be wrong. I don't know which is the correct answer. We'll just go with that. Let's see. That's correct. Good. 97. Backing off the commercial vehicle is 97. Backing of the commercial vehicle. So we're talking about backing of the commercial vehicle. I suppose that means backing the vehicle, backing up. Backing of the commercial vehicle is always dangerous, because it is. Correct. 98. When you are parked at the side of the road at night, you must turn on your four-way emergency flashers to warn others. Put out your emergency warning lights within 30 minutes. Use your tail lights to give warnings to others. I'm going to say turn on your four-way emergency flashers to warn others. That's correct. 99. You must stop on a hill or curve on a two-lane, two-way road. How far should you place reflective triangles? You must stop on a hill or curve on a two-lane roadway, on a two-lane, two-way road. How far should you place reflective triangles? I'm going to say as far back as necessary so others can see you. That is incorrect. The correct answer is C, which means within 500 feet behind you. Okay. Stab braking should not be used on vehicle with trailers, anti-lock brakes, hazardous materials. I'm going to say hazardous materials. That is incorrect. The correct answer is anti-lock brakes. So stab braking should not be used on vehicle with anti-lock brakes. Okay. 101. Oh, that was 100, so I'm done. All right, so we'll pick it up in the next video. That was 20 questions. Again, thank you for watching. I probably missed more on this one than I have on any other test so far. Thanks for watching, and please have a great day. We'll pick it up on the next video. Bye-bye now.